I'm watching shares in Boeing right now down by 0.6% on Wall Street. Reuters is reporting that the company will add a new 737 MAX production line in Washington State by the middle of next year as it plans to ramp up deliveries of its best-selling plane. And we did learn on Friday Boeing was planning to add 10,000 new employees this year. I guess now we know why. The TSX down 98 points, 20,616, so a drop today of about 0.5%. We have gold futures down by $9, 19.36. Oil is lower by $1.70 to 77.99. Now, we do get an OPEC Plus committee meeting on Wednesday. That's really more of a technical meeting, so no decision on output is expected. Natural gas today has been close to a 2-year low. So right now it is down by 5.8%, $2.67. And the Canadian dollar down by 0.4 cents to 74.72 cents U.S. We also learned today that Rogers and Shaw have agreed to delay the deadline for their mega merger to February 17th. It was supposed to be tomorrow, with the two companies awaiting a decision by the federal industry minister. Now, Rogers is the parent company of this radio station. Both stocks, actually Rogers stock little changed. Shaw shares down by about 0.5%. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker. This is the sound of medicine. When you stay at a Ronald McDonald House, close to your sick child, family is medicine. And right now, it's helping Ryan battle leukemia. We need your help to keep families together. Please donate today at rmhc.ca.
Forecast calling for volatility outlast the storm with Skyline Investment.
Two automobiles in the Corolla to get that information directly from anyone who might have saw the collision actually occurred.
Investigators are appealing to any witnesses or anyone who may have dash cam footage of the collision or the driving behavior leading up to the crash to contact police. Phil Martino, City News.
There are calls for the city to declare a public health emergency to help those dealing with homelessness. City's Kate Lee joins us with that.
Arctic air plunging us into a deep freeze as we enter February. It will be close to minus 25 without the wind chill Friday night into Saturday. The city of Toronto's issued an extreme cold weather alert, which triggers the opening of the city's 3 warming centers. The Toronto Board of Health currently has a motion headed to council to discuss lowering the threshold for that to 0 instead of minus 15. But longtime street nurse Kathy Crow tells me the lack of shelter space the city's most vulnerable are heading to hospitals and public transit to get out of the cold.
This is really tragic. We saw that the mayor was immediately able to find money for
health system. With private for-profit delivery, costs go up and the quality goes down, and we saw that with long-term care homes.
He's calling for an emergency debate in the House of Commons. Meanwhile, the government's trying to juggle an expected recession with the cost of living crisis. As it prepares the spring budget, the feds hint at more targeted supports for struggling Canadians. It's expected to be a feisty spring, with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre taking aim at the Prime Minister, saying the country is broken.
You told us that better was always possible, and yet everything is worse.
The Prime Minister says he has faith they'll work out the problems facing the country.
In tough times, we pull together. We don't throw up our hands and say everything is broken.
Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
A check of gas prices next.
This year, make Israel your RSP investment destination. Hi, I'm Raquel Benzakar-Savati, CEO of Israel Bonds in Canada. Discover the value of adding Israel Bonds to your RSP. 1-year terms are now paying 4.66%. And simply put, when you buy Israel Bonds, you're investing directly in the state of Israel. Call today, 416-789-3351, or visit israelbonds.ca. Israel Bonds are sold in Canada by Canada Israel Securities Limited, a registered exempt market dealer. Conditions apply.
Now, the City News gas price update. Empro predicting the price will not change at midnight. We should stay just under $1.51 a liter. Traffic and weather together next.
Here are 2 words for anyone making a New Year's resolution to lose weight or adopt a healthier, active lifestyle. Healthy Planet. So this isn't your first attempt. That's okay. Healthy Planet is on your side with a great selection of high-quality vitamins, herbs, sports supplements, and health foods. Whey protein, pre-work, vegan protein, and weight gainers. This year, slam dunk that resolution with Healthy Planet. Shop in-store or online at healthyplanetcanada.com and live life healthy.
You're
Your dreams have come true, Toronto. Direct from the London Palladium, the brand new smash hit production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is now wowing audiences at the Princess of Wales Theatre. Don't miss this acclaimed production of one of the world's most beloved musicals in its North American premiere. Go, 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 go see Joseph. Now on stage through February 18th. Book your dream tickets now. Call 1-800-461-3333 or go to mervish.com.
City News Time, 2:41.
Traffic and weather together on the one through Scary Brunskis. This report is brought to you by PointsBet. Eastbound on the 401 on the ramp to the 410, the left lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle, so it's starting to get backed up now on this ramp. Again, eastbound 401 going to the 410. The stalled vehicle east of the 427, that has cleared, but we still have a stalled vehicle east of the 400 in the collectors blocking the right lane, and that's contributing to these delays here on the eastbound 401 across the city. It's slow from the 427 to about the 400 in the express and jam to east of the 400 in the collectors. Watch out for debris on the eastbound 407 at Bramalea. Could be affecting all lanes. There's a stalled truck on the right shoulder in this area. Westbound on the 409 at the 427, all lanes are still closed because of an earlier collision. This has been going on since the overnight hours. So westbound 409, it's jammed solid from Martin Grove to the 427, and you can go either north or southbound on the 427 from that point. Westbound on the 401, it's backed up from Leslie in the Express and from Bayview in the Collectors to Avenue Road. Looks okay once you get west of Avenue Road. Hasn't quite jammed up yet anywhere beyond that. Westbound on the Gardner, a bit busy from Rogers Center to west of Strawn. Slows again from Kipling onto the 427 ramp. And the northbound Don Valley Parkway is slow going on and off from Gerrard up to York Mills. It's much heavier once you hit Don Mills, though. On city streets, just got word about some construction at Yonge and Steeles. We have lane restrictions at this intersection and delays. So this is a good spot to avoid if you can. Again, Yonge and Steeles. And I also had a call from a traffic spotter eastbound on Steeles, east of Kipling. The right lane is blocked with a stalled truck. Another traffic spotter called in about a collision at Finch and Nielsen. That's partially blocking that intersection. And we still have a full closure of Bloomington. All lanes shut down east of Highway 48 between 9th line and 10th line because of an earlier collision. It's Hakeem Optical's warehouse clearance sale. For a limited time, every Hakeem designer frame in the store is free with your lens purchase. Hakeem Optical, always saving you money on fashionable eyewear. And now with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
City of Toronto has issued their extreme cold alert. Yeah, it's going to get a lot colder as we move through the week. Some lake effect flurries at times today are guaranteed high -2, -10 for the low. Will feel like -17 early tomorrow. Sun and cloud and a chance of flurries for Tuesday with a high just -6. For today, the guaranteed high -2.
Overcast downtown Toronto -3, feels like -8.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute to the Business Center. Here's Ari Rabinovich.
Good afternoon, Selena. We still have a sea of red for North American markets, at least for the most parts, to start off the trading week. The TSX right now is on the shorter end of the losses. It's still down about 0.5%, 106 points at 20,609, with losses in the energy sector providing the biggest weight here, in line with losses for the price of oil as well as natural gas. Even though one exception is Athabasca oil shares, so right now are up by more than 3%. But losses for Cenovus Energy, Baytex, Suncor, and TC Energy of about 0.6% to about 2% are the biggest weights here regardless. And with the price of oil in mind, we have that down close to $2, just under $78 US per barrel. And also the price for gold with gold futures, that's down by $6, $1,939 the ounce. And the Ludi is off by 0.4 cents at 74.73 cents US. Wall Street is also looking at losses, with the Nasdaq the biggest loser, down almost 200 points. The S&P 500 has fallen 1%, and the Dow Jones nearly 200 points lower. At the City News Business Center, Ari Rabinovich.
Concerned about the risk of inflation? A financial advisor can help. See why advice matters, now more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Wait, sorry, 1 second. Okay, now I'm ready.
Real adventure doesn't wait. It happens with or without you. So you won't want to miss out on the January clear out of the 2022 Honda Pilot before it's gone for good. Because with standard features like all-wheel drive and fuel-efficient econ mode, adventure time is all the time. Lease any remaining 2022 Honda Pilot at 4.4% for up to 24 months. Conditions apply. Visit your local Ontario Honda dealer.
1877 Cars for Kids. KAR.
sportsnet.ca, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
7 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Watch, listen, connect. This is City News 680, everywhere.
Some light flurries in downtown Toronto, -2 degrees with a wind chill reading of -7. Good afternoon. I'm Sljana Tominsic.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Former Lieutenant Governor for Ontario and journalist David Onley being remembered today as a tireless advocate, a role model, man of faith, and a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. We're at the funeral. Police are looking into a deadly crash in Whitchurch-Stouffville. 2 vehicles collided head-on this morning in the Bloomington Road and 9th Line area. Police want to speak with anyone who witnessed the crash or has dash cam footage. And there are calls for the city to declare a public health emergency to help those dealing with homelessness. Warming centers are only open in the evening. A motion to open centers before temperatures plummet likely won't take effect this season. Street nurse Kathy Crow tells City News.
2 of the warming centers had to stay open because they had no place to send anybody.
Sports, Alex. James, the Raptors and Suns are each missing a key piece for tonight's game in Phoenix. Toronto's OG Anunoby sits out with that sprained left wrist, and Devin Booker is getting closer to returning from a groin strain, but misses an 18th straight game. Raptors are 2-1 on the 7-game road trip, and the ballgame gets going just after 9. In the NHL tonight, the Jets and Blues is the only game on the schedule. Face-off from Winnipeg goes at 8, and you can see it live on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now. News out of the NHL this morning as Hockey Hall of Famer Bobby Hull passed away at the age of 84. Hull's pro career spanned 23 years, 16 with Chicago and Hartford in the NHL, another 7 with Winnipeg in the WHA. Golden Jet won the Stanley Cup with the Hawks in 61, and in 1966 became the first NHLer to score more than 50 goals in a single season. Maple Leafs held an optional skills practice ahead of Wednesday's game against the Boston Bruins, Toronto's final game before the All-Star break. Skills competition goes Friday in Florida. And Blue Jays top prospect Ricky Tiedemann was among the 14 internal non-roster players invited to spring training in Dunedin. Jays fire up the Grapefruit League schedule on February 25th against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Hey there. Are you a first responder and worried about your financial future? Hi, I'm Todd C. Slater, a Simple Investor. Join me on Thursday, February 2nd at 7 p.m. for our Simple Seminar webinar for first responders. As a thank you for all you've done over the years, we have a special release that will allow you to own investment real estate with only $30,000 down. To register, go to thesimpleinvestor.com. The Simple Investor. We make the world of real estate investment simple.
Is your new year still falling flat? Do you avoid stairs with multiple steps? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy or low E. But there's a cure. Now through January 31st, get started at Planet Fitness for just $1 down, then only $15 a month. With clean, spacious clubs and tons of equipment, you can boost your energy after just one workout. Leave low E behind and find your big fitness energy at Planet Fitness. Get started in the free PF app for $1 down, then only $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. $49 annual fee applies. See Home Club for details.
City News Time 2:49 ahead of Black History Month, which starts on Wednesday. Black Canadians say companies are making progress on anti-black racism. City's business editor Chris McCusker tells us there is concern, though, that a recession would change that. A survey by KPMG shows 90% of Black Canadians say their employers made progress in efforts to be more equitable and inclusive for Black employees last year. 59% say their employers' efforts to hire more Black people improved, while 54% say efforts to promote more Black people into leadership roles was also better. But more than 3/4 are concerned a recession will hurt the career and promotion prospects of their Black and racialized colleagues harder than others. About the same number of people say anti-Black racism efforts and broader diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives will be put on the back burner by their employer during a recession. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker. Traffic and weather together next. City News Time 2:50.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights. eBay Motors has millions of parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Searching online for questions about your health isn't always healthy. You'll type in a question right before bed like, why do I keep getting hives? And whoosh, you're hurtling through an internet rabbit hole. One sleepless night later, you've thrown out all your lotions, body washes, soaps, and detergents because you're definitely allergic to everything. Or you could just talk to a registered nurse. Stop going down internet rabbit holes and start connecting to care. Visit ontario.ca/yourhealth to find pharmacists, nurses, and answers, and see all the ways we're helping you connect to care. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
City News Time, 2:51.
Traffic and weather together on the ones now. Here's Carrie Brunskin. This report is brought to you by PointsBet. Westbound 409 at the 427. All lanes are still closed because of a collision from this morning. So westbound 409 traffic is jammed solid from Martin Grove to the 427, and then you're forced to either go north or southbound on the 427. If you're trying to get to Pearson Airport, you can only access that area from north or southbound 427. So on the detour, you may as well go to the northbound side and then redirect from Rexdale. That's your first chance to exit the northbound 427. Westbound on the 401 is backed up from Leslie in the Express and from Bayview in the Collectors through to Avenue Road. Once you're past that, it's only a little bit busy as you head through Kipling. On the eastbound 401, we still have a couple of problems. On the ramp to the 410, the left lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle, just a minor delay there. Another stalled vehicle east of the 400 in the Collectors. The right lane is closed. So it's jammed up here on the eastbound 401 from the 427 to Weston in the Express and delays to east of the 400 in the Collectors. That problem is also causing a backup for traffic southbound 400. It's jammed from Shepherd onto the eastbound 401 ramp. If you're heading into the Durham region, it's filling in just to east of Westney to east of Salem. We have some debris reported on the eastbound 407 at Bramalea. Be careful across all lanes there. If you're heading up the northbound DVP, it's problem-free, but we still have some volume delays, mainly from Bayview Bloor up to about York Mills. Northbound 404, that's still lightly traveled. Just keep in mind, Bloomington is still closed in both directions between 9th line and 10th line, and that's for a collision investigation. Looks like we have delays still at Yonge and Steeles. Not sure if it's lane restrictions due to construction. I did see police going by. They briefly stopped in the middle of the intersection, so still pretty busy around Yonge and Steeles. We also had a stalled vehicle reported eastbound on Steeles, east of Kipling, blocking the right lane. Make the right call on your drive and the right call on your bets. Play on PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only. And now with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Some lake effect flurries at times. Most of the activity, though, to the north and especially around the Barrie area. Colder air is going to take charge this week. The City of Toronto has issued their extreme cold alert. -2 the guaranteed high, -10 for the low. The feel like -17 early tomorrow. We'll have sun and cloud and a chance of flurries for tomorrow with the high just -6. Wednesday, the 1st of February, sun and cloud and the high -5. And then even colder Thursday and Friday and into Saturday, the actual temperature to start Saturday near -25. For today, the guaranteed high -2.
Overcast in downtown Toronto, -3 feels like Wednesday. This extended forecast is brought to you by Dynamic Funds. How can you minimize inflation risk? Step 1, talk to a financial advisor. See why advice matters. Now more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
I'm here talking to shoppers about the Points Hack of the Year. 1 week to earn tons of points at tons of locations, like this one.
Wait, PC Optimum Points Days is here? Oh man, it really is the best.
Did you know Canadians earned over 50 billion points from all points events last year? That's the best. Love meeting another points hacker. Let's bring this home. PC Optimum Points Days runs
this time every year?
Yep. Now through February 1st. Load our best points offers of the year
in the PC Optimum app.
Nice one.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day. This is City News 680. Everywhere.
An upcoming Michael Jackson movie has found its king of pop.
And that man in the mirror will be Jafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, playing his uncle in the upcoming biopic titled Michael. The 26-year-old Jafar is Jermaine Jackson's son and a singer who put out a single in 2019. Jafar posted a picture of himself on social media practicing Michael's dance moves, writing that he's humbled and honored to be bringing his uncle's story to life. Antoine Fuqua is directing. Graham King, who wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, penned the script. Lionsgate has said the movie will address all aspects of Jackson's life, but it's not clear how deep it'll go into the controversy. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Business is next.
Sarah?
Yes, Callum?
Why do so many people get engaged on Valentine's Day?
Think about it.
I have been thinking about it. That's why I'm asking you.
Callum, do you really and truly not know why people get engaged on Valentine's Day?
Is it because that chubby little angel baby shoots people with those love arrows?
You mean Cupid?
Yes, that's his name. Although I'm pretty sure he's imaginary.
Callum, Valentine's Day is the day we celebrate the joy of romance with the person we're in love with.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Getting engaged on Valentine's Day says, you're not just the person I love right now. You're the person I'm going to love for the rest of my life.
Sarah, you're really smart.
Thanks, Callum. You're usually pretty smart, too.
Why did you say usually?
Chubby little angel baby.
Spence Diamonds. Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
City News Time, 2:56.
Now the business report. Here's Ari Rabinovich.
Okay, so Jenna, B and Wall Street are still a sea of red for the most part, with the trading week starting out with some pessimism surrounding some big earnings coming out later this week from companies like Apple and ExxonMobil, for instance. And there's also big announcements expected from the U.S., U.K., and European central banks later this week, including the U.S. Federal Reserve announcing possibly another interest rate hike this Wednesday. Now, on Bay Street, the TSX is lower by just over 0.5%, 116 points lower at 20,602, mainly thanks to some poor-performing energy stocks, as we have the price for oil down by almost $2 at just under $78 U.S. per barrel. Natural gas also lower, weighing on some energy stocks like Cenovus Energy, TC Energy, and Suncor, all lower by between 0.5% and nearly 2%. The price for gold, with gold futures, also lower by about $6 at $1,939 the ounce, and a loss for the loonie today of so far about 0.4 cents, 74.71 cents U.S. On Wall Street, it's a sea of red as well, with the Nasdaq the biggest loser right now. That's down by 1.75%, while the S&P 500 has fallen 45 points, and the Dow Jones down by 0.6%, 212 points lower. Now, with the Super Bowl match now set, the plans for parties are starting. Short-term rental companies like Airbnb have been cracking down on bookings used for big parties, and now competitor Vrbo is looking to get ahead of the Super Bowl demand by tracking factors like length of stay and number of guests. Property owners will get an alert if a high-risk booking has been made, and they can then cancel the reservation penalty-free. Vrbo is a private company, but shares in Airbnb right now are lower by close to 5%. At the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Rabinovich.
Business is brought to you by Scotia iTrade.
Scotia iTrade is the stuff investors' dreams are made of. It's got everything you need to direct invest in one place. With a new mobile app offering quick access to real-time market research, personalized alerts, and more, you'll never snooze and lose on a market movement again. And for a limited time, get up to $2,000 and $6.99 stock and ETF pricing. For full terms and conditions, visit ScotiaITrade.com. Scotia iTrade. It's every investor's dream.
Furnace on the fritz? Get it fixed fast. EnerCare Home Services can get your heat going again with repairs done by a pro. And right now, for a limited time, get a furnace repair diagnostic for $0. That's a $99 savings. Getting your furnace fixed fast is good, but saving some money in the process? Like $99? Now that's a hot deal. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at enercare.ca. That's enercare.ca.
Checking the City News 680 regional weather conditions in Markham, mostly cloudy, -3. In Mississauga, cloudy and -3. Downtown Toronto, some light flurries, -2 degrees, a wind chill reading of -7. The News Watch never stops. Watch, listen, connect anytime at citynews.ca. City News 680 is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 3 o'clock.
This is City News 680. Everywhere.
It's Monday, January 30th. I'm James Monroe.
I'm Flojana Timmons. Here are the top stories right now.
Remembering Ontario's longest-serving lieutenant governor and a City News calling.
You have fought the good fight. You have finished the race. I love you, Dad.
Coming up, the funeral for David Island.
GTA prompts Toronto to issue an extreme cold weather alert, but advocates advocates say more needs to be done to help the city's homeless.
The Raptors resume their road trip in Phoenix tonight. The Leafs have one more game before the All-Star break, and Bobby Hall, NHL Hall of Famer, has died. Sports at 15. Concerns about interest rates on the minds of investors this week, with several big announcements expected, and you won't get charged as much as the price war for electric vehicles heats up. Business at 26.
City News Time 3:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Hi, Carrie.
Hey, James, this report is brought to you by Subaru. Westbound 409 at the 427, all lanes remain closed. This is because of an earlier collision happened in the overnight hours. It was a truck rollover. So we're still in the cleanup stages. It's taking a really long time. The westbound 409 is jammed from Martin Grove to the 427, where you have the option to either go to the northbound 427 or the southbound 427. You can also access the westbound 409 still, as well as Airport Road and Viscount. So you still have some options, but if you need to get to Pearson, your best bet is to just start from the north or southbound 427 because those ramps are not affected. Westbound on the 401 is busy from the 404 in the Express and from Bayview and the Collectors to Avenue Road. Bit of a bunch up as well is Lincoln and the Express to Dixon. We have 3 stalled vehicles. They're possibly a new problem here. Eastbound on the 401. First off, on the ramp to the 410, the left lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle. Then just before the 400 in the Collectors, the ramp lane is blocked, either a stalled or a collision there by the looks of it. And then east of the 400 in the Collectors, the right lane closed. A stalled truck is to blame for that. So eastbound 401, a little bit busy on the ramp to the 410. Then it's jammed up from the 427 to Islington in the Express, and it's packed to approaching just east of the 400 in the Collectors. So you're better off using the express lanes east of Kipling. Watch out for a new problem on the westbound 403 at Cawthra. The right lane is blocked, a collision there, causing a delay now from Eglinton. And on tonight, we're down to the low of minus 11, feeling like minus 18. And right now, it's minus 4 at Pearson, feels like minus 7. City News Time 303.
David Onley being remembered today as a tireless advocate who emerged as a champion of disability rights both during and after his stint as Ontario's 28th Lieutenant Governor.
City's Richard Southern joins us following today's funeral in Midtown.
It was a state funeral here in Midtown. Fits for the type of man David Onley was. David broke ground as a reporter with City News. When he became Lieutenant Governor, he continued to fight for disability rights. Speaking today, current Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Dowdeswell.
David Onley was an inspiration and a role model without comparison. He believed that the Lieutenant Governor's office could be a transformational force for good, and he worked daily and tirelessly to realize that possibility.
David's 3 sons walked behind the funeral procession up Yonge Street. Robert speaking in the church.
Practically everywhere we ever went as a family, and I mean this, everywhere, we would be stopped by someone who recognized him from his time on TV. Dad would always smile and always engage in conversation, even if he was halfway through a bite of his New York fries at the Scarborough Town Center. He was gentle, kind, caring, and always home for dinner. I will miss him dearly.
At Yorkminster Park Baptist Church, Richard Southern, City News.
City News Time 3:05. The NHL Alumni Association has announced the passing of Bobby Hall, the first NHL player to score more than 50 goals in a season. City's Alex Cicero looks back at the career of the Golden Jet.
When it comes to his most memorable season, the late Bobby Hall once said it was the 59-60 campaign when he won his first NHL scoring title with the Chicago Blackhawks.
When I knew that I could play against the Howes and the Belly Bows and the Jeffreyons and the Bathgates, that's when I knew that maybe I was there to stay for a while.
And Hall remains the Blackhawks' all-time leading goal scorer, helping Chicago win their 3rd Stanley Cup back in 1961. And a few years later, he became the first NHLer to score more than 50 goals in a season, potting 54 during the 65-66 campaign. Of his 16 years in the NHL, 15 were in Chicago, the other in Hartford. And he also left the NHL for the newly formed WHA in 1972, signing for $1 million with the Winnipeg Jets. The Hall of Famer was 84. Alex Cicero, City News.
City News Time 3:06. An early morning crash in Whitchurch, Stouffville has left 2 men dead and a woman with serious injuries. City Phil Martino joins us live with the latest from investigators. Phil.
So, Jenna, York Regional Police say around 6:30 this morning there was a crash between a red Toyota Corolla and a dark maroon Mercedes SUV in the Bloomington Road and 9th Line area. According to Constable Laura Nicole, the 2 men in the Corolla were killed.
The driver of the Mercedes is an adult female. She was transported to hospital with serious injuries.
Police are appealing to any witnesses or anyone who may have had dash cam footage of the collision or of the driving behavior that led up to the collision to give them a call. Phil Martino, City News.
The city's warming centers will be open tonight at 7 as we head into a deep freeze. By the weekend, we'll see temperatures in the minus 20s. Here's City's Caitlin Lee.
A bitterly cold week with the actual temperature without wind chill getting close to minus 25 overnight Friday into Saturday morning. The chilly temperatures are difficult to deal with when you have a place to go. If you don't, they could be life-threatening. The City of Toronto has issued an extreme cold weather alert, opening 3 warming centers at night, but longtime street nurse Kathy Crow tells City News they need to be open 24/7. She says there are hundreds and hundreds of people living outdoors who can't get a regular shelter bed right now, and they're turning to emergency rooms and public transit.
We're asking the city to declare a public health emergency. I was the medical officer of health or the city manager, and we declared a public health emergency. That would tell me that I have to put resources to saving people's lives and providing safe shelter.
A motion for the Toronto Board of Health presented last week asked for the threshold for an alert to be raised to 0 instead of minus 15 degrees Celsius. Caitlin Lee, City News. City News Time 3:08. The House of Commons has begun its first proceedings of the year. The fall sitting of the spring sitting of Parliament is now underway, and MPs have the economy, inflation, and health care on their minds.
With MPs in their seats once again, the rising cost of living and an expected recession are front and center. All eyes are on the budget, with the government hinting at more targeted inflation supports for struggling Canadians. The opposition has been hammering them on spending for a while now. A pending health care funding deal with the province is also on the horizon, with a First Minister's meeting set for next week. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says any agreements on health care have to come with commitments to hire more workers.
Solving the healthcare crisis we're in by hiring, training, recruiting, ensuring we've got enough healthcare workers. That's got to be the number one piece in the deal.
He's also calling for an emergency debate over some provinces expanding private options in the public health system. While we're only on day one, the rhetoric leading up to the sitting has been very aggressive, which means the rest of the spring could be feisty in federal politics. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
And we'll check gas prices next.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Butler Mortgage.
Every day, Canadians receive mortgage renewal notices, and some rates have doubled. Important announcement. If you're renewing in the next 90 days, 4.59% 3-year fixed-rate mortgages are available at butlermortgage.ca. No matter what you were told, you can still switch to a 3-year fixed rate. No gimmicks, no fees. A 3-year mortgage with payments that don't increase when prime rate goes up. To learn if you qualify, go to butlermortgage.ca now. License 12118. High ratio variable rate APR 4.60%.
Now the City News Gas Price Update, and it is brought to you by Enpro. We're looking at no change at midnight, staying at 150.9 a liter.
Want to take your business to the next level? Advertise with Rogers Sports and Media and connect with millions of potential new customers. By integrating our radio and podcast offerings into your campaign, you'll reach premium targeted audiences wherever they are, however they listen. From up-to-the-minute news and sports to engaging podcasts and entertainment. The big story. Our team will partner with you every step of the way, from conception to execution, to ensure you reach your marketing goals. Find out more at rogersportsandmedia.com.
Live at Casino River Resort.
Said to me a couple weeks ago that I was her best friend.
Canadian comedian Jerry D. He, star and co-creator of the hit CBC comedy Mr. D, and host of Family Feud Canada, takes the stage on March 31st to make audiences laugh.
No, you're not. Steve is my best friend.
Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. High Club Rewards members get first access to new shows and can use rewards toward concert tickets. For details, visit CasinoRama.com.
City News Time 3:11.
Traffic and weather together, KP.
This report is brought to you by Hakeem Optical. Eastbound on the 401 on the ramp to the 410. The left lane is still blocked by the MTO crews. A stalled vehicle looks like it's just about to clear, though. So watch out on the eastbound 401 ramp to the 410. It's still partially blocked. Then approaching the 400 in the collectors. The ramp lane is partially blocked because of a collision. We also have a stalled vehicle past this eastbound 401 east of the 400 in the collectors. The right lane is closed. So it's a very slow go from the 427 to about Islington and the Express, and delays to east of the 400 in the collectors. Busy into the Durham region as well from Westney to east of Salem. Westbound 409, problems continue at the 427. There's still a full closure because of an earlier rollover. So traffic is at a crawl on the westbound 409 from Martin Grove to the 427. If you stay to the right-hand lane there, you'll be forced onto the northbound 427. The left lane goes to the southbound 427, as well as Airport Road and Viscount. So you can still access Pearson, but it will require a detour. Unless you start from the 427, those ramps to Pearson not affected. Westbound on the 401, it's busy from the 404 in the Express and from Bayview in the collectors to Avenue Road. Slows again approaching Islington in the Express to Dixon. And the westbound Gardner is busy from Jarvis to west of Strawn. Bit of a bunch up as well from Kipling to the 427 ramp. We have a problem in Mississauga on the westbound 403 at Cawthra. The right lane is blocked due to a collision, so a heavy backup as you approach Eglinton and the collectors. It's a slow go on the northbound GVP from Dundas up to York Mills. And on city streets, we had a stalled truck reported eastbound on Steeles, east of Kipling. That was blocking the right lane. Humberwood is closed in both directions between Humberline and Morningstar. That's due to a collision. Just got that in from Toronto Transportation. And Bloomington, that has now reopened after a lengthy closure. Bloomington is good to go now east of Highway 48. It's Hakeem Optical's warehouse clearance sale. For a limited time, every Hakeem designer frame in the store is free with your lens purchase. Hakeem Optical, always saving you money on fashionable eyewear. And now with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ransaha.
All right, thanks, Carrie. Cloudy. We've got some flurries hanging around right now. Going into tonight, though, that west wind off of the lakes, which barely have any ice on them, by the way. We're talking about lake effect snow through the north of GTA. Could see a light dusting, trace to a centimeter or two for parts of northern York and Durham, but squalls as you move back towards cottage country. Tomorrow's a cold start. It's going to feel like minus 18 in the morning, but some good sunshine to start. Partly cloudy in the afternoon with a high of minus 5. And you'll have to dress for a wind chill of minus 20 by Wednesday morning. The afternoon is partly cloudy, breezy, and a high of minus 4. Overnight tonight, down to low of minus 11. It's going to feel like minus 18 in the morning. It's currently minus 2, feeling like minus 7 at Pearson.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute. Here's Ari.
Good afternoon, James. And we still have declines for North American markets within the final hour of trading. The TSX is the better of the base and Wall Street markets right now, although it's still down 0.5% at 20,606, with losses in the energy sector especially, in line with losses for oil, as that's down almost $2 at $77.77 U.S. per barrel. And natural gas is also hovering around a 21-month low as demand plummets due mainly to a mild winter seen so far on the east coast of the U.S., even though we're expecting this polar vortex later this week here in southern Ontario. Now, we are looking at Wall Street, a decline of about 1.75% for the NASDAQ, the S&P 500 down 1%, and the Dow Jones has fallen 0.6% or 215 points, while gold futures have dropped $6, $1,939 the ounce, and the Ludi off by 0.4% at 74.75 cents U.S. At the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Rabinovich.
How can you minimize inflation risk? Step 1. Talk to a financial advisor. See why advice matters. Now, more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Are you looking for a trusted and experienced online high school where you can earn credits or upgrade your marks? Learn with Ontario Virtual School, Ontario's leading online provider with a 5-star Google rating. OVS has over 140 interactive grade 7 to 12 courses to choose from, including STEM, French immersion, and more. Sign up today, create your own timetable, and get access to their supportive teachers and counselors. See why over 25,000 students have chosen to learn with OVS. Visit OntarioVirtualSchool.ca.
How many superstars can shine in one weekend? Find out February 3rd and 4th on Sportsnet as hockey's best put on a show in Florida. It starts on Friday, February 3rd with the NHL All-Star Skills. Then on Saturday, the NHL All-Star Game. The league's biggest stars go toe-to-toe in a 3-on-3 showdown. Expect the unexpected. NHL All-Star Weekend, February 3rd and 4th, only on Sportsnet.
Toronto. Overcast in downtown Toronto, -2 feels like -7. I'm James Monroe.
I'm Jana Sabinza. Here are the top stories this hour.
2 men are dead, a woman in hospital after a head-on crash in the Bloomington Road 9th line at 6:30 this morning. There's a head-on collision between a Corolla and Mercedes SUV. York Regional Police are looking for witnesses. February is going to come in like a Yeti mixed with a polar bear. The city of Toronto's issued an extreme cold weather alert as frigid air moves in. Daytime highs will stay below zero. Morning lows will be in the minus double digits.
With repairs done by a pro. And right now, for a limited time, get a furnace repair diagnostic for $0. That's a $99 savings. Getting your furnace fixed fast is good, but saving some money in the process? Like $99? Now that's a hot deal. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at entercare.ca. That's entercare.ca. Bring home the savings with great deals at Lowe's.
Mission Possible. Find out what's possible for you. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Look after yourself. Promise me.
This year, warm up to winter in Ontario. To romantic trips, cozy cabins, warm up to some cool adventure, skiing, ice climbing, skate trails, snowshoeing, chill out by a fire, sipping ice wine, going to a food festival, or a resort. Winter in Ontario. We're warming up to you. Plan it now at destinationontario.com.
Missouri. And James, the TSX saw a losing session to start out the trading week. It fell 0.7%, 142 points at 20,572. Shares in Rogers dropped 0.1%, while Shaw Communications dropped about 0.5%. The deadline for the merger deal between the two companies that would see Rogers acquire Shaw for $20 billion has been extended to February 17th. The deal has been through many hurdles towards full approval by government regulators, and now the Federal Industry Minister, Francois-Philippe Champagne, will have his final
Thank you for choosing Tim Hortons. I can help you.
Yes, good afternoon. Can I have a cheese tea biscuit, please? Cut open.
Biscuit.
Yeah, cut open, double buttered, and warmed up in the microwave.
Warmed up and double butter?
Yes, please.
Okay, is that everything?
Large coffee, 3 cream, 3 sweetener.
Large 3 cream, 2 sweetener. Okay, is that all?
3 and 3, yeah.
Yeah, is that everything?
That's it. That's
4 or
it.
5, dropping up.
Thank you.
Goals in a season, potting 54 during the 65-66 campaign. Of his 16 years in the NHL, 15 were in Chicago, the other in Hartford, and he also left the NHL for the newly formed WHA in 1972, signing for $1 million with the Winnipeg Jets. The Hall of Famer was 84. Alex Xero, City News.
City News time 4:36. The city's warming centers will be open tonight at 7 as we head into a deep freeze, and by the weekend we'll see temperatures in the minus 20s. Your city's Caitlin Lane. A bitterly cold week with the actual temperature without wind chill getting close to minus 25 overnight Friday into Saturday morning. The chilly temperatures are difficult to deal with when you have a place to go. If you don't, they could be life-threatening. The city of Toronto has issued an extreme cold weather alert, opening 3 warming centers at night, but longtime street nurse Cassie Crowe tells City News they need to be open 24/7. She says there are hundreds and hundreds of people living outdoors who can't get a regular shelter bed right now, and they're turning to emergency rooms and public transit.
We're asking the city to declare a public health emergency. I was the medical officer of health as the city manager, and we declared a public health emergency. That would tell me that I have to put resources to saving people's lives and providing safe shelter.
A motion for the Toronto Board of Health presented last week asked for the threshold for an alert to be raised to 0 instead of minus 15 degrees Celsius. Kate Lee, City News.
Prime Minister taking a grilling today during his first question period of the year, with the opposition targeting him over affordability, consulting, and health care.
Fresh off the winter break, the opposition targeted the Prime Minister on the top issues facing the nation, the cost of living and health care. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says life has become unaffordable for many Canadians.
Rent prices have doubled, up to $2,500 a month for an average place in Toronto. The number of people eating at food banks has gone up to 1.5 million.
And he decries the millions of dollars the Liberals have spent on consulting firm McKinsey. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau fires back, saying they've been there to help those who are struggling the most.
We're going to continue to step up in investing in Canadians while Conservatives continue to push cuts and austerity.
The NDP pressed the PM on provinces expanding private options covered in the public health system. Trudeau says they'll make sure the Health Act is followed. He meets with premiers next week to advance talks to a new health care funding deal. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
City News time 4:38. A U.S. congressman wants to speed up ongoing efforts to clear a backlog of applications for the Nexus Trusted Traveler Program. Here's City Scott Burnett.
The Make Nexus Work Act would require U.S. Customs and Border Protection to rely on video teleconferencing instead of in-person interviews. Democrat representative from New York, Brian Higgins, introduced the bill. He says a pilot project during the pandemic proved the agency is already well equipped to handle remote interviews and Nexus renewals. A dispute between U.S. and Canada over the legal powers and protections U.S. agents would have on Canadian soil has essentially throttled any progress on current applications. Earlier this month, a new solution to the backlog would see the joint interview process divided into 2 meetings, one with Canadian border officials, the other in the U.S. That would mean that if you're traveling to the States from Canada and you've had your Canadian interview, you could potentially make the U.S. interview part of your travel plans. Scott Burnett, City News.
A check of gas prices next.
Hi, Zach here from Speedy Glass. As windshield experts, we know that a small chip can quickly become a big crack. If your windshield is cracked, you need to replace it right away, and now is the best time to do so. For a limited time only, receive $25 gas gift card by replacing your windshield with one of our certified experts. We'll get you back on the road quickly and with an extra $25 in your pockets. Hurry, this offer ends March 3rd. Visit speedyglass.ca to book an appointment at the service center nearest you. Certain conditions apply. Details at speedyglass.ca.
Now the city used gas price update, and Pro predicting the price will not change at midnight. Will stay just under $1.51 a liter. Traffic and weather together next.